Okay, so first of all, check out this little spider dude. Another one of these spiders, it's the third one today. So I don't know, I guess the spiders like laid eggs in my room and they're all hatching now, or I don't know, they blew in on the wind. Oh, had a little bit of an encounter there. Ooh. And it's going a little bit crazy. Okay, so yeah, first thing is that spider. So I did see two more, and the first one I put in alive, but of course I saw this carry on, so I ended up squishing it so that the ants could eat it. And then I found another one and just squished it straight away so they could eat it, and they seem pretty into that. But this one has found its way in by itself, and I'm a little bit surprised that it hasn't tried to escape, because the other two, well, the first one did try to escape by making a little bridge from here to there. The second one I didn't give it a chance. This one just isn't escaping. So yeah, little spider dude. And then also now you can see I've got this new solution for the sugar. So I've got some copper wire bent over to make like a little frame. And then I've put aluminium foil around to make a bowl. And it's a little bit bright, but there you go. Sugar inside it. Now the ants haven't really taken much notice. I saw one investigating, but I don't know, not impressive enough for them to get into it, or maybe they're not hungry, or maybe I don't know, maybe there's something about the setup they don't like, or maybe they're not used to it. But the reason I did it is because you remember I was using the toothpicks, right? And the toothpicks were great because, you know, they're easy to take out. And, you know, pretty easy to set things up on them for the most part. Oh, poor little spider. I should probably just kill it in a moment, but I need to not be filming. It's a little bit too difficult. Yeah, no, the toothpicks are great, but the problem is I've been having issues with mold, and it's sort of that cloudy white fairy floss-like mold, and so far I can't see any forming, which is good because, you know, I put some more dry dirt on top to try and, you know, suffocate whatever spores are there. Also had it outside all day to try and dry it out a little bit. Oh, there's spider guy again. Because, yeah, well, see, the problem with the toothpicks is when I was cleaning out the mold, I'd have to pull out the toothpicks and a whole bunch of mold would come with it. So obviously the mold spores would be stuck to the toothpicks then, and if I put the toothpicks back into the soil, it's just going to bring more mold back. So I kept having to throw out toothpicks, and I just sort of thought, well, let's try and attach something to the side, and that's what I came up with. So hopefully in the morning, even if there is mold, what I can do is just take that little hook off the side of the jar while I'm cleaning the thing out, and, you know, because it's on the side of the jar, hopefully there'll be no mold. It's really only been in the soil. So we'll see how that goes in the morning, and hopefully all's good. Also hoping I don't get so much mold, but you know, like I was getting on top of it. I think I'm pretty sure I filmed like before I had sand on the top of this setup, but then I've gone and put in like a layer of dry soil. See, I think you can see like the sandy layer, and then there's the soil layer, right? But so the dirt that I put on top was heaps dry. And then, like an idiot, I started worrying that maybe the ants didn't have enough water. So, yeah, I actually, like, measured out a bunch of water so they knew they wouldn't drown in it, you know, taking into account the size of the jar. And then sort of just gradually tipped in a bit of water to, give them some, because apparently ants like moisture, but I don't know, these guys don't seem to give a shit. Regardless of what I do, they just bring their nest back to the sides of the jar instead of going down. I thought maybe they'd go back if it was, you know, more moist. And you can see there are some, maybe you can see, I don't know, a little bit of movement in there. It seems to me that down here is usually where the winged ants live, so I guess like early queens and the males. I'm not sure what else they're doing down there, but the bulk of the nursery just stays up here, really, except for when, you know, I take them out into the sunlight and well, not direct sun, but daylight, and then they freak out and take everything underground. No, it doesn't seem to matter what I do. They just love hanging out here. So, yeah, I put that moisture in for no reason, I guess. And then, you know, I realized the top of the soil was a little bit too wet and it wasn't drying out. Like instead of sinking to the bottom, it was just like making everything kind of damp. And then I tried to put dry soil on, dry dirt on top, and no, it stayed wet. And then 2 mornings in a row, so much mold. Especially this morning, it was just nuts. So yeah, I pulled that out, the mold out again, and I actually gave it morning sun. So I kind of monitored the ants to make sure I didn't cook them. Morning sun. Then they had that sort of shade, half shade, kind of, like it's not proper shade, it's the light's filtering through this glass thing we have, which is a little bit, it's probably a little bit dirty over the years, but you know, it's filtering through glass, so it's not full strength sun. And then the shade came over, and so it's just fresh air. So hoping the sunlight killed some of the mold that I couldn't get out, because, you know, there's always going to be a little bit left. And then later in the day, I found some really dry soil, which I think was dug up by the native bees in the background, in the backyard. Sorry, it's past midnight and I really should be in bed. Yeah, no, we've got some native bees and they keep digging these burrows, and there was really dry soil around the edges of the burrow. So, yeah, I got some of that and then tipped it on top of the damp soil, and that seems to have mostly stayed dry. So I think, you know, last night actually, I did see mold starting to form on top, whereas tonight I'm not seeing mold forming. There are a couple of strands of something, but I'm hoping that's just dog hair. Yeah, and that's basically what's been going on, is I'm battling mold. Now we've got little spider dude who doesn't seem to know how to escape. Which is fun because there's actually, I think, a huntsman in the other room. I was doing my stretches and then, oh, hello. I don't know how small spider babies are, but I'm just like, 2 different sets of spiders in one day. Big adult huntsman and these 3 tiny little dudes that are the size of ants. Must be babies. Are they related at all? I don't know. Huntsmans aren't so bad though. Like, they're big, so they're kind of scary, but at least in Australia, it's the small spiders you've got to be worried about, really. The big ones aren't so bad. Anyway, I'm rambling now, and gosh, I'm probably going to have to, if I try and stitch all these videos together, it's going to go forever, so maybe I should do a few. I haven't been keeping on top of it, have I? Oh, anyway, so that huntsman's probably, it's in the other room, but I imagine it's probably gonna come into my room at some point, and then, you know, while I'm asleep, I'll probably accidentally eat it, because, like, that's what happens with bugs, right? Supposedly in your sleep, they crawl into your mouth, and then, because, you know, it's warm and damp and stuff, and then you accidentally swallow them, and I don't know, is that why sometimes you wake up with a bad taste in your mouth? I don't know. I really should get to bed, so I'm probably just talking shit and freaking people out with that bullshit. And yeah, like, I've got a plate in you know, those Invisalign retainers, which is probably why I'm speaking a bit funny, but I'm also tired, so maybe you can't notice. And yeah, they're never fun anyway, so, you know, who needs bugs to add to that? And my mouth's been kind of dry last night, and it's so hot in Sydney. I'm tired of my room being 26 or 27 degrees trying to sleep, so, you know, I'm probably not going to sleep well tonight again anyway, which is great, because I've got to wake up early-ish to help Mum. And also, like, I'm up this late because I was on a roll doing my Tokyo shopping guide, trying to finish that off. There's just one more bit to go. And, you know, it's a shame I can't stay up until 2 a.m. to finish it because I'm so damn close. And instead, I'm rambling about ants, so I'm going to shut up and go to bed. Well, I'll catch that spider first if he's still around, and then feed it to the ants properly instead of letting it go on. Alright, good night. There, he dead. And the ants are about to get him. And now it looks like we've got a queue forming to have a go at it. Oh, here we go. Also, sorry about the fan noise, I just had to turn it back on because it's hot. And we go to tug of war. Gosh, you can see the jaws on that little ant there. Alright, well, I don't know what they're doing. There's not as many going for it as as previously. Maybe it's because I put it on the edge of the nest, whereas previously I put it in that sort of little gap, so it was, you know, the other spiders were a bit more surrounded. Yeah, I don't know where these guys are trying to drag it to. But yeah, kind of fun, but I gotta go to bed, and I can't sit here watching them all night, really. So, yeah, this time for real, good night.